which goes like this, that I don't have enough production volumes for automation. I don't have enough production volumes for automation. It's not for me.
This is really interesting because we hear that a lot, I think, in different kind of situations like exhibitions and conversations with the customers. But in the end, we have actually customers who have surprisingly low batch sizes. So coming from 1 to 5, for example, or starting as low as that with automation. So it depends, of course, on the situation, but there's a lot of opportunity in automation also for the small batch. And it's getting better day by day.
Yeah. Typically, when you see videos about automated production, it's for example a robot doing a repetitive task, and clearly you can see from there that takt time is some seconds, and you can assume that you make millions of products per year with that kind of system. But I think nowadays we actually our let's say point where we have started is always have been the flexible automation.
So Fastems,
our customers typically don't have mass production. They might have repetitive batch production, but nowadays when the software and control functions have been developed a lot, it's you can have a batch size of 1 even, and that can be automated. So
economically,
yes.
And also the hardware that enables this has also been going to a more flexibility-oriented direction for quite some time now, maybe 5 years or so. That has been kind of on the radar of many of the suppliers, that how to increase the flexibility also of the hardware components. And then when you add the software components in there, then you have a lot of opportunity to investigate into smaller batches.
Yeah. How does that look like in the robotic field? You mentioned small batches, robotic, and the technologies you mentioned.
Well, I think
key enablers.
I think a couple of very, very interesting things have been that to make it easier to use for the operator, to make the changeover from batch to another or a product to another very, very easy, very fast. So it's these days, in many cases, this is a matter of minutes. So we're not talking about hours. So you change the chuck jaws and then you set up the gripper, and you can even program new parts in 5 minutes.
So you are referring now to parametric programming rather than...
For example, as a technological detail. That instead of typing hours on the robot teach pendant, you're actually doing it with a handful of parameters, even with some visual cues, and you're done in 5 minutes. It's very easy.
For listeners, so we kind of argued that nowadays production volumes low as or batch sizes low as 1 to 5 can be automated economically. How come? How is that possible? Just could you elaborate that? Mikko or Esa, how is it possible?
Well, I think the speed of transitioning from one product to another is one player or a factor in that. If we really seek for something where you can start from, but it is also when we're talking about repeating batching, production of repeating batches of sizes of 1 to 5 or so. It's also on the software that you can plan this. That what kind of is my mix for today and what kind of resources do I need. So it also brings that extra twist of productivity in the game.
So it's all about software then.
Well, it's a like a dance together with the hardware as well. So all of it, it's a big puzzle. That's a combination that the pieces have to fit together.
Yeah, sure. But it's an important enabler. So one other thing is that the machines or setups might not be the ones which are dictating the batch sizes, but it might be your production control. So there are more and more, let's say, intelligent, more integrated production control methods that you can actually run really small batches through your production in an efficient way.
Yeah, and it will be based on presumably customer orders.
Yeah, exactly.
Create the optimal flow.
So you don't end up producing the extra 45 pieces to stock.
Because you want to make
optimize the setup of the machine.
We had one customer case actually. They are producing. They have roughly 50 different raw materials, and they produce 80 end products out of those 50. And basically they were running now the batches were 50 to 120, and actually the product requires 2. and they make quite highly specialized products, and basically, of course, they have a huge stock.
Yeah.
Obviously, okay. It is also a benefit that you can basically, if there is a demand for such a product again, then you can deliver it from stock. Sure. But if there's not, you end up tying millions of euros in your stock. Yeah. And we did a proposal for that company and actually made also a simulation that what if you would run only 2 at a time? So basically just eliminating the stock. And so basically that system still got like 65% utilization of the machine, even if you put a huge number of setups there. Yeah. As a kind of exchange of the storage.
Yeah. And that 2, batch size 2, that was what was required at that moment, right?
Well, actually, I think the customer is we then had a, let's say, more kind of not so radical scenario like 20. Yeah. And that was in a way more like, this could be done. But of course, it was really interesting to see the reactions that actually this is also possible with the current tools and production controls, so that you can manufacture totally based on the need.
Yeah. That's of course the goal. At the end of the day, sounds like this one is quite busted. So not having enough production volumes in most of the cases is now a very good argument not to automate.